I almost met Kamal Hassan at the press event of Thug Life and I missed it. What happened? Let's talk about it. Hello guys, I'm Nona Prince and this is gonna be a little different video than usual. Today we are not talking about a film but an event where I went for a press meet of a film. That's it. You understand. So I got the opportunity to go to the press meet of Thug Life, the upcoming Mani Ratnam and Kamal Hassan film. I was reached out by an agency who invited me for the event. It was just a one-day trip and actually a day before I was told that you have to go and it has to be the quickest I have traveled ever. The event was in Chennai and it was my first time in Chennai. Couldn't explore the city much. It was just, from the airport to the hotel to the event, back to the hotel and back to the airport. There was not much time, but next time whenever I plan to come, I'll definitely make it longer stay so I can explore the city too and actually meet some people also. So what happened, what I witnessed, everything I'll share with you. But before that, I'm not sharing this to brag. That's not the intention at all. I'm sharing it because I want you guys to be part of it also, because it's because of you guys that I got to go. And remember that this experience was not normal for me at all. It still feels like a blur in my head. I still cannot believe I was in the same room with legends and stars on stage. The people I have witnessed on big screen, they're just right in front of me. I'm just a guy who make videos about films in my room. How did I from here reach to that event? And it felt overwhelming. I did ask the question, what am I doing here? Do I belong here? It was never a dream that I would be in a place like that. I never even made an attempt so that I reach a place like that. It's just that I kept working on what I really like to do and just kept at it. And eventually things happened. So when I reached Chennai, I got into a cab and the driver's name was Sasi. We talked, through the journey. And interestingly, he only took me back to the airport. So I was asking him if he watches films. He's a big Kamal Hassan fan. But who else? And he said, Chiyan Vikram. We talked about his latest films. He asked if I have watched Thangalan yet, which I said sadly no. And then he asked me who's my favorite. And I thought for a moment and I said Vijay Sethupathi. Coming to the event, we had to leave early in the morning. It was a morning event, was supposed to start at 10:30. And everyone, all the press people around me whom I talked, said these things never start on time. Of course, they'll come late. But to a surprise, everyone was on time. We were seated at that auditorium and exactly 10:30, the whole team with Kamal Hassan arrived. And within 5 minutes, they were all on stage. And that, to this Hindi media especially, was a big surprise. I have to say the whole setup for the event was really good. A lot of different screens, a lot of things happening. They showed us the special teaser and the glimpse. And also the new song which was released. We actually saw it, I think 2 hours before everyone else. And they actually take a lot of care of the press. At the entry, there was juices, water, clean washrooms. There was a whole, dining area for after the event. Fully AC auditorium. And also there were a lot of, fans area was given to them. And they were screaming a lot. So when the cast and crew was on stage, one by one all the distributors were called and they were presented with the memento, which was the big poster for Thug Life. And each of them said a line or two that film will be great and they're looking forward to it. Then one by one, all the cast members are called upon to say a few words. First was Jojo George, who's also in the film. And he clearly said, sorry, I cannot speak in English. I'm very bad at it. And he just, kept, I think, talking in Tamil. That's my guess. Sadly, no subtitles. Then came Ashok Selvan, Abhirami. The cinematographer Ravi K. Chandan was there, but he said, no, I'm not going to say anything. Then came Trisha. Oh my God. The moment she stepped onto the stage, I couldn't look anywhere else. Just like on screen, you cannot look anywhere else when she's on screen. On stage also, I couldn't look anywhere else. Just like beauty. The cameras don't do justice. Then came Silambarasan TR. He was like looking really good. Followed by A.R. Rahman, then Mani Ratnam, and finally Kamal Hassan, the legend. And he was looking top notch. His voice, oh my God, like hearing it in front of me, like that depth he has. Wow. Now this was a grand scale press event because they had, I think, press from all over the country. And there was definitely some unhappiness going on because most of the event happened in Tamil. There were very few places they talked in English. And at some point, I think one reporter even said, can you repeat all that in, English? Like, I think they were talking about something that happened on the set. The song they released when they were dancing, STR said, I was preparing very hard and everything. And Kamal Hassan said, you look good. and Kamal Hassan hadn't prepared. And when they did the scene, STR was shocked to see Kamal Hassan just doing the move so fluently. So there were a lot of tidbits like that happening, but again in Tamil. After the event, we did get the whole transcription in English of what all happened, what all they talked about, but some people were not happy. And of course the question was asked, Mani Ratnam and Kamal Hassan coming back after 35 years almost, and he said that they were planning to do this film for 45 years. They have been trying to get it together, and finally that has come together. They have the tools, they have the opportunity to really tell the story and lots more. They have many things planned between them. So let's see how that unfolds. So after the event was over, we had to go for the lunch, and I was really looking forward to it. They were putting that banana leaf, and they were giving food, everything like which I have seen, especially in Mayadagan. But sadly I couldn't even attend that because it became too chaotic, very crowded. So our team took us back to the hotel to have lunch, and whoever actually stayed back, they got to meet with Kamal Hassan. And sadly I missed the opportunity. There were a few people who got really angry about that they missed the opportunity. Now the experience around the press was very surreal, because all of them were these big names from these big publications and websites and newspapers and news agencies, news channels. Honestly, I didn't know anyone there, but thankfully most of them were really welcoming in talking with me. I had a lot of interactions with a lot of senior people, and they were really appreciating me for the work I am doing. That was definitely a confidence booster. So after the lunch, I left for the airport and came home. But what I found out later is that except my flight, because my flight was to Goa, everyone else was from Mumbai or Delhi. All of their flights got delayed by an hour or two, and that's why they got to meet Kamal Hassan, because Kamal Hassan came back at the event. They got there, met him, took pictures, and I was the only one left. Maybe it was not in my fate, but never say never. Hopefully there's something else written, just like how this event came out of nowhere. So really looking forward to Thug Life coming out on 5th June. They definitely cooked something really special. I was hoping that they show some footage, some trailers, something just special for the the people at the press meet, but they just showed that song which is already out now. But that was it. That was one day of my life which went really quick. It still feels like a blur. I still don't know how it happened, but it did happen, and that's how it happened. I know if at this point anyone isn't watching, very different video, not talking about a film, not talking about something else about films, but an experience which I had, and hopefully you also felt part of it. So thank you for watching. If you haven't seen this video, you can check it out right now, and I will see you next time.